We are the Houston Cougars.
We are the USF Bulls.
We are the Memphis Tigers.
We are the SMU Mustangs.
We are the Cincinnati Bearcats.
We are the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes.
We are the Knights of UCF.
We are the Temple Owls.
We are the Pirates of ECU.
We are the Green Wave of Tulane.
We are the Yukon Huskies.
We are the American Athletic Conference.
Last season was a definite rebuilding year for Kelvin Sampson and the Houston men's basketball program. We heard a lot this offseason about some of the new faces and contributors we might see in the 2015-2016 season, but didn't know what to expect until the Cougars took the court. But it's become evident that UH has new depth and the right guys returning from last year's team to have a successful run this season.
You know, when you take over a program, a lot of time you're held hostage by what you inherited. You know, we inherited some really good kids. Unfortunately, all the best players transferred before we got there. So, you know, last year was last year. You know, the thing I like about this year's team is that we have depth, we're versatile. You know, I've been around enough good teams to know what one looks like. The thing I like about this team is we get better through practice. We've got depth at point guard, on the wings, the 4 and 5. So we can go 5-on-5 in practice and really get after it.
The Cougars showed a much improved chemistry on the court, winning their first 5 games, a bond that started way before the preseason. In fact, it started out of the country on a 10-day trip to China.
You know, it was such a great trip. For instance, we had 4 games in 4 nights, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The average bus ride in between those games for every trip was around 6 hours. No social media. They actually had to talk to each other on the bus. I actually saw them playing cards and instead of putting their earphones on, they just had them off listening to music, talking to each other. I just think our chemistry, the camaraderie, they became friends instead of teammates.
China was a great experience for us. You know, China brought us closer as brothers than it did as teammates. Because, you know, down there, like, we had, like, I don't know how long of a time we spent on the bus, you know, just riding on the bus. And it wasn't no internet service down there, no Wi-Fi, you know, so it was, we was all we had. And I think that, like, that's gonna be a big deal too going on in this season, because we're gonna hit adversity. Like, it's gonna happen. Adversity is gonna come. So with us being able to, you know, go to China and stick it out with each other, you know, it's gonna be a big part later on down the season. Because, like I said, when the adversity hit, you know, we're gonna need someone, you know, that we can depend on.
While in China, Houston had the opportunity to get a few games in, but a lot of the experience was based on culture.
Well, just watching those guys, I'll give you an example. In China, they have this thing called a mill wheel, where they have all these dishes on a wheel, and you just spin it, and it comes to you. You like it, you don't, you keep turning. Our guys would get to that mill wheel, and they'd have like 23 or 24 items on it, and you could count on them getting 2 things: white rice and watermelons. That's all they would eat. You know, they'd have a fish up there that looks like a carp. It was so big, but they cook it with the eyes in it, with the head and the eyes in it. They look at that, poop, what's next? Whoop, not that one, not that one, not that. Oh, there's rice. Let me get some rice. And then they start looking for gravy. Dude, they don't have gravy on rice here in China.
Once the Cougars returned home from China, it was time to put that experience to work on the court. And one of the guys that Sampson has looked to help mesh this chemistry together is senior Devontae Pollard. The forward is tied for 10th in the conference in points per game and ranked 16th with over 6 rebounds per contest.
I think this year we're gonna, like, it's not gonna matter to us who scores or, you know, when a person scores. It's just a matter of, you know, getting it done, getting the job done. Some games I might have 20, 25 points. Other games I might have 10, 12. You know, but as long as we get the W, I'm gonna give it all I got. You know, I'm fine with it. As long as we win, I'm good with it. And I think everybody's on our team this year, I think, has that mindset.
Houston is receiving votes in the coaches poll and has not been ranked in the top 25 of the national poll since checking in at number 25 back in December of 2005. This is also the first time since the 1947 season that the Cougs have won their first 2 conference games on the road to open up league play. Signs of good things to come for Sampson and the Houston program.